My name's Paul, welcome to Paul Perambulates. In this episode I'm in North Wales, in Eryri, Snowdonia, climbing Wales's highest mountain, Yr Wydffa, Snowdon. My start point is the Penny Pass car park in Llanberis Pass, postcode LL554NY, grid reference SH64745563. What 3 words? Dr. Twee parading. I take the Pyg Track westward, passing along above Llanberis and Glaslyn. Climbing up to Bwlch Glas, I then take a small diversion to bag Eryri's second highest peak, Garnedd Ugain. Dropping back into the Bwlch, I then head up to the summit of Yr Wydffa, following the mountain railway and having a look at the station while I'm there. Heading back down initially the way I came, I then turn onto the miners' track, which takes me right alongside Glaslyn and Llanberis. I cross the causeway at the bottom, past Llanberis and return to Penny Pass. Total distance 13.3 kilometres. Total height gain 905 metres. Total walking time 5 hours and 7 minutes. The base for my Eryri adventure is the excellent Dolgam campsite on the A5 between Capel Curig and Bettws Coed. And the lovely family who run it work extremely hard to keep it in excellent shape. Highly recommended. Little warning, the ducks are a bit tame. Just been in investigating my frozen spaghetti bolognese. So maybe keep that out of their way. The Avon Clwgwi runs right alongside it, and my tip, if it's available, is to pitch right by that so that you get the beautiful sound of running water drowning out the A5. This is where the ducks originate, and you might be able to see a couple of them hiding under the branches there. Hello my friend. Fan of porridge, are you? I don't think ducks like porridge, do they? We can't have any, anyway. You're giving me a quizzical look there, aren't you? Almost as quizzical as the one I'm giving you. You guys are so friendly. Good morning, my feathered friend. What are you up to? Let's see what's going on, have you? Okay. Yeah, don't go in the tent. Stick around there if you want. Slightly different mode of transport for this one. I'm heading to the bus stop. I'm going to catch the excellent Sherpa Yr Wydffa service, which will take me from right outside the campsite to the foot of the mountain. It's a very short bus ride, but it packs in an awful lot of beautiful scenery. This is the destination, Penny Pass, at the top of the Llanberis Pass, the start point of the pig and miners tracks up Yr Wydffa. The car park is full, but that's always the case. you can't get in here without booking well in advance, and it is extremely expensive. But that's entirely justifiable in my view. 500,000 people walk up Snowdon every year. Most of them drive here, walk up the mountain and drive away again. The car parking is the only opportunity to divert some of their money into the local economy to pay for the cost of keeping the facilities here as excellent as they are. This is the Warden's office, incorporating toilets and a cafe. Everything is clearly signposted, including my chosen route up the mountain, the Pyg Track. The early going steps basically worked in sympathy with the rock, but a lot of path work, partly because of the sheer volume of people that come up here, I guess, has to be able to withstand the wear, and a dirt track wouldn't be able to. Soon shallows out a little bit. Obviously it's going to get way steeper later on. We've still got all these inlaid rocks designed to cope with lots and lots of feet. Nice easy walking. At this point, just got to turn. We've got a fantastic view down the Llanberis Pass. First great view of the day, probably not the last. And once again, steep. And looking back down now, starting to get a little bit spectacular. And that's just the path. Come up and round and look at the view. It's really starting to get there. This is a good example to illustrate that you will need to use your hands getting up here. I've just come up there. It cannot be done with feet alone unless you're some sort of super gazelle. So hands-on required, but not too difficult. This is a great example of the sort of work that is done on these very well-trodden paths to make them extremely walkable. Lovely mountain stream, beautiful sound. Great big slabs laid across it so that you can go over it without even having to get your feet wet. Suddenly you come along past this rather nicely built wall up over the top here, and you're looking down the other side of the ridge. Down the bottom there, Llanberis, the lake. And then this is your decision point. Path up in that direction will take you along Crib Goch, one of the most feared ridge scrambles in the UK. Looking down now on the causeway over Llanberis, which I'll be crossing later on. Once you've come past the turning for Cribgoch, Pyg Track skirts along Llanberis, some way up, so you've got a great view looking down, and relatively flat, so quite a nice walk. Soon climbing again though, albeit gently, and it undulates around the side of the lake. What a great spot this is, little outcrop overlooking Llanberis. Beautiful spot, no wonder people are stopping here to have a look. Come over that little outcrop, I can now see the main objective. Well, I can nearly see it. I would be able to see it if it wasn't obscured in cloud. Fingers crossed that'll dissipate as I get closer. First view of Glaslyn, the lake at the foot of the mountain, which I will talk about later when I'm closer to it. Check out this pathwork here. Big flat slabs laid alongside, making the whole thing considerably easier than it otherwise would have been. Water running across the track, but not much. A lot more in winter, I would imagine. Very rocky here. Still mainly walking, but you're going to need to get your hands on the rock now and again just to keep yourself stable. Wouldn't go as far as to call it scrambling though. From here I can see pretty much the rest of the path up to the top. And then I look down to see a fabulous view of Glaslyn at the foot of the mountain. Gravelly path on the last bit up into the bog. Falls away reasonably dramatically on the left side. Now, whether you'd call that exposure or not, if you're extremely uncomfortable with heights, you might struggle with it. I don't have a problem with it, but you might, so consider it before you come up. This is the kind of hands-on that's necessary in a few places. It's not all that difficult on this part though. Just a little bit further on, we're back to it effectively being paved. Being like a giant staircase heading on up. Another small but surmountable obstacle. Higher still, and it zigzags, which has no option to do really because the side of the mountain is now so steep it just wouldn't be safe to walk straight up it. Lots of path work done along here to shore the side up and keep it safe. Alright, go for it. There's an example of what you might encounter up near the top. Although you've made absolute mincemeat of that.
Wait till my little sister comes through, she'll...
Okay, I don't imagine I'll make it look anything like that graceful. I've now made it up to Buchglas, and if I'm honest with you, that was bloody hard. I was all set to classify Snowdon as the easiest out of the three, including Ben Nevis and Scafell Pike, but I think it's taught me a little bit of respect. Not at the summit yet, so a little bit further to go. This impressive standing stone marks the point where the path tops out in the bog and meets 3 other paths. Here we also meet the Snowdon Mountain Railway. Comes up the shallowest gradient, but still too steep for the wheels to get enough traction to pull the train up. So it has an extra gear wheel that latches on to that serrated bit you see in the middle and pulls it up the slope. Hopefully at some point we'll see a train. Also coming from that direction, the Llanberis Pass, the shallowest but therefore the longest path up to the summit, following the railway track up. Well, we didn't have to wait long, and it's being pulled by an absolutely beautiful little steam loco. Not that it has to do a lot of pulling going in that direction. Looking over the edge of the bulk, you can get an impression of the height gain on that last part of the path. Llanberis is a long way below now. There is my next objective. Depending on what classification you want to believe, that is Garnedd Ugain, and it could be the second highest peak in Snowdonia, or it could just be another part of Snowdon. This is what the walking is like on the way up to Garnedd Ugain. Nowhere near as steep as coming up to Buchglas. Still climbing obviously, but pretty easy underfoot. First objective comes into view, Garnedd Ugain. Garnedd Ugain, 1065 metres, second highest peak in Snowdonia, depending on which list you believe. And this trig point certainly looks like it's been sitting on top of one of the highest mountains in the country for probably over 100 years. It's very, very knackered. Garnedd Ugain is at the top of Cribgoch, one of the UK's most fearsome mountain scrambles by reputation. Just seen a couple of guys come up over it. Can't help thinking that the people over on the summit of Yr Wydffa are missing a trick, because the views from here are far better. No cloud on this top. Looking over at the Garnedd Eye and the Glider Eye nearer, tops of those covered in cloud as well. I'm definitely on the right peak at the right time. 1k apart, Yr Wydffa completely cloud bound, Garnedd Ugain completely clear. Looking west, I can see another train battling its way up the mountain, and beyond that, down the Llanberis Pass to Llanberis and out to the Menai Strait and Anglesey. Time for the main objective now. Up there. On the way from Buchglas up to the summit now. Once again, good path work. These big flat stones laid, making it nice and easy underfoot. Still climbing, still a bit steep, but not too hard. Get near the top now, super busy. all the paths converge and then come up here, so everybody's up on this bit. First sight of the train station and the cafe. Summit platform is artificial and is a tribute to the medieval princess Gwynllian. She actually has one of the Garnedd Ugain named after her as well. Closer to the top and even more stairsy now, regular rectangular blocks. Of course, you can bring stuff up here by train, can't you? Ah, now I'm on the back of the summit queue. Reputedly sometimes 45 minutes. Hopefully won't be that long today. This is a real case study in human psychology. Less than a kilometre away, the second highest peak in Wales, way higher than anything in England, is available, but no one's interested. Yet here, there is someone who's sensibly staying right out of it. Yr Wydffa, Snowdon, 1085 metres, highest mountain in Wales and England for that matter. I've timed my arrival at the top of Yr Wydffa beautifully as well. It's very cloudy still over the Garnedd Ugain and the Glider Ugain, but here it's completely clear. Looking across the Snowdon Horseshoe, the walk-in path in the east down to Yr Wydffa, across Llanberis, and then along Pyg Track. Heading off down shortly. Doubt if I'll get a better view of the entire path than I have from here. Before I set off, I'll just take a quick look at the station as I'm here. And now I'm in the cafe and shop. Far too civilised for the top of a big old mountain. The building was rebuilt and reopened in 2009. And they certainly took advantage of the view offered by its location. Here comes another trainload of customers. Heading on down now. Back the way I came for the first part of the descent at least. Just started down from Buchglas and it looks very different than when I came up here this morning. All that cloud is blown away and it's now the clearest possible day on the top of Yr Wydffa. I wondered what this was when I came past it on the way up, but now on the way down I've realised, because it's the marker for where the Pyg Track and the miners track split, and I want to go miners going back, so it's actually very important to me. Heading down the top part of the miners track now. Very steep, lots of big loose stones, so you need to take a bit of care. It's perfectly doable, but you need to have a little caution. Certainly the views from it are amazing. Got past the top part now, and evidence of some very tidy slate work here. And this path down is effectively paved. It's beautiful. Suddenly it got an awful lot easier. I'm stood right next to Glaslyn now, looking up at the summit of Yr Wydffa. Coming down, looking at Llanberis Pass of the Arrows, reputedly the place where King Arthur was slain by a volley of Saxon arrows. He had just defeated the evil Mordred. Before dying, he threw the sword Excalibur into this lake, Glaslyn, where the Lady of the Lake reclaimed it. We all have a story, don't we? From Glaslyn down into Llanberis, got this marvellous rushing stream. God, how I love that sound. I think this might be one of my favourite bits of the walk, actually. You should be able to hear it to my right. That beautiful stream flowing down from Glaslyn to Llanberis. I'm thoroughly enjoying strolling along in the mid-afternoon sunshine and listening to it. It's beautiful. Miner's Path is coming down to meet Llanberis now, and basically consists of loads of whacking great inlaid stones. It's really easy to walk, as long as you get your feet in the right place. You can descend it at speed if you wish. It's certainly nice and comfortable. Nice gravelly path along the side of Llanberis, and I'm just going past what the map refers to as disused levels. Now, my research hasn't revealed to me what levels might be, but it looks like it's some sort of industrial type building. So I'll have to find that out when I can. This disused piece of industrial metalwork says on it, Fraser and Chalmers Limited, Erith, England, 102A. No idea what that means. Would be interested to find out. I'm now on the big loop around the end of Llanberis, looking up at the start of Crib Goch. Fantastic scenery all around. Shortly, going to go over the causeway that I was looking at earlier. And now walking over the causeway. Nice and airy here, beautiful. Late afternoon sunshine, water either side. What could be better? So much more modern industrial construction here. There is a hydroelectric power plant fed by Llanberis. You can see the pipeline here, and then heading over the hill down there. The Miners Path is part metalled road now. The rest of it is still the nice, easy to walk gravel. And it brings us round the corner to our final lake of the day. You can see the path skirting around the far side of it and then heading across towards the Llanberis Pass. The Miners Path has now brought me out into Llanberis Pass, so I'm near the end now. Quite thankful for that, but I've had a brilliant day. Back at Penny Pass now, in time for the bus, and that one's done. I even made the earlier bus back, so my day is absolutely complete.
I came over the Garnedd Track from the A5.
Yr Wydffa, Snowdon. Anybody who's watched a lot of my channel might consider that I've given it shortish shrift in the past. Okay, it is the least height gain of any of the big three, also including Ben Nevis and Scafell Pyg. Scafell Pyg, its foot is 200 metres lower, so more height gain there. Ben Nevis is 1300 metres of height gain, a lot more. However, the route I've done today, up Pyg Track and down Miners Track, has a few tricks to play on you. It is not as straightforward as walking up the tourist path up Ben Nevis. There are a number of places where you need to hang on, otherwise you're in a little bit of danger. I wouldn't go as far as to call it scrambling, but you need to get your hands on securely and carefully to get up some bits of it. I turned up today fully expecting to give it a difficulty rating of 7, and it's changed my mind. To be honest with you, it's taught me a little respect, and I'm going to give this particular path, up Pyg and down Miners, an 8. There is an easier way up. You can come up the Llanberis Path, the one which follows the railway up. That will be a lot longer, but nowhere near as steep, and there won't be any of the hands-on stuff. Everybody wants to be able to say they've climbed Yr Wydffa, Snowdon. Maybe everybody thinks it's as easy as I thought it was. Take it from me, it's not absolutely that straightforward. Come and give it a shot anyway, find out for yourself. All maps and 3D fly-throughs provided by kind permission of Ordnance Survey through their excellent OS Online application. Big thanks also for all music used in this video to mixkit.co and upbeat.io. Specific song and artist credits can be found in the comments. These videos are designed to show you around the routes I walk in case you're considering doing them yourself. They are not designed to be any kind of hill walking training or guidance. If you need hill walking skills, obtain them in person from a reputable, qualified provider. Please don't attempt these walks without appropriate levels of fitness and equipment. If you don't have the required levels of knowledge and experience, only undertake them accompanied by somebody who does. You can find out more about me and my background and experience at my website, paulperambulates.co.uk. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Paul Perambulates. If you did, please subscribe and share.